Welcome everyone to our series, Do You Speak Tech? The Pandemic Edition for 2021, presented by the Second Language Intercultural Council from the Alberta Teachers Association and the Edmonton Regional Learning Consortium. This is our fourth session called YouTube Generation. So we're going to be talking about YouTube tonight. And you'll see at the bottom there bit.ly or a short link to get into the into all of our the presentation and all of the rest. And I'm just going to, we've had a couple of people come in since we last put the link in there. And so I'm just going to put that link in there again. And we've got someone else coming in. And here we go. So there you go. So there's our link to the document with the presentation and everything else that you'll need. So today, and the rest of our series. So after tonight, March 11th, YouTube Generation. Next week on Wednesday, we'll be doing a little look at social media and how we can implement that in the language classroom. And then the week after that, our last session will be the new normal. We'll be talking about online distance learning and video chat lessons and strategies for making those engaging. So again, we're exploring and reflecting on strategies for authentic engagement in the target language through the implementation of videos today and technology. And we've just got a few things that we're going to be looking at. Of course, some introductions. We're going to start with some basics on YouTube. So quickly go through some of those, the very first things that you're going to want to learn to do when you log into YouTube. Then we're going to look at a search strategy that I like to call going down the rabbit hole. And so we'll look at some ideas of how to find some content if you're not really sure where to begin. Then we're going to look at video creation. So how can you create videos? So not necessarily only with YouTube, but related, because we're talking about that whole video kind of atmosphere. And then our last is tricked out YouTube. So that's where we'll be talking about some tricks and some extensions that you can add to YouTube to just kind of get the most out of your experience. So let's get started. And again, I've got the short link down there so that you can get access to our presentation with the speaker notes and all of the links and everything else there. My name is Stephanie. I work at the Institute for Innovation in Second Language Education at Edmonton Public Schools, where I coordinate the French programs. And I also volunteer for the Second Language and Intercultural Council for the Alberta Teachers Association, who we're partnering with the Edmonton Regional Learning Consortium, the ERLC, in order to present this series for you. I do love educational technology, and you got my email there if you'd like to contact me with any questions, or hey, even if you find a really neat website and you've been to the series or watched these videos and you think, hey, Stephanie should know about this website. I love getting those kinds of emails from teachers. So please don't hesitate to send me an email. I've been on maternity leave the last year, so talking to another adult would be great. We're going to start with a little sharing. And so I've got a link there, and I will just copy that into the chat as well, so that if you're not a very fast typer, then you can just copy that right here. Give me a second. And so literally share any YouTube video that you'd like. It could be something educational, it can be inspiring, or something that's just kind of funny. This is mine. It's called A French Cat Looks for Love in America, and it's just sort of a cute little video that if my students were, maybe really good and we got finished 5 minutes early, everything, then we would, watch this. And so to add to Padlet, all you're going to do is double click anywhere, double tap if you're on a tablet or phone, or press the plus button there, and that will allow you to do that. Visitors can write, so we're good. And so Padlet is a neat way of gathering ideas from your students. If you're looking for kind of a neat way to engage with your students at the beginning of class, you can ask them to share a link to something, or you could give them a writing prompt. You can, as you can see, customize the background and the icons and things like that that are shared there. And here I just added a little note and then added the link. And what I like with Padlet is it gives us a little preview of the video, so it's a little more visual, kind of like having an online vision board. I'm going to show you while we're doing this some of the settings here so that you can see. So when we go on the three dots here, we have all of our information, but I can also remake. So if I have maybe some writing prompts, or maybe I have an activity that a check-in activity that I like to do with students quite often. I don't have to always retype those same instructions and changing the background and everything else. I can just remake, which is really nice. Share embed, so that gives you a really nice code. And I'm sure you noticed from the link that I gave you that this is a personalized link. So that's really neat. I put in YouTube sharing. I even chose the little icon here, just kind of a neat little visual representation. And I was able to put in DYST, like do you speak tech, for my custom link. And to get to all my Padlets, it starts with my name, which is really neat. And this is all on the free version. Oh, I see someone here that's sharing something really neat. This is Mani Musica, which is sort of this is an activity with students that, from what I understand, it spans sort of the whole month, and they get to watch different music videos in French and vote on which ones they really like. Keen V, he's one of my favorites. I really like him, so thank you so much for sharing. So I'll leave this open, and what's also really neat is I made, again, in the settings, you can choose whether or not students can like, they can upvote. So kind of like on Reddit, where you get to upvote things and be like, yeah, the Keen V one is way cooler than that French cat looking for love. And so that's kind of neat. They can also add comments. And so you can control all of that right here from the settings. And it's a really super easy way. So new post position, so the new posts go first. You can choose different layouts. So this one I chose kind of a wall where it's just going to kind of brick everything together. And then here I just chose like. I didn't add any other reactions, but yeah, it's kind of neat. And you can even grade it. So if you wanted to grade students, then you can do that. I think I'm on my son's login, but it's me, Rochelle. Hi, Rochelle. It's nice. Oh, I love Mani Musica as well. It's very nice to see you. So authentic. And if you're looking for a rabbit hole to go down, there's one for you to look at, Mani Musica. So we're going to get moving on here, and we'll maybe come back and take a look at the Padlet. And if you're looking for a funny video or a nice music video to listen to, then go ahead and take a look at that Padlet later on. And I hope that if you're watching this video in the future, that you add to the Padlet, and maybe we can get some cool videos on here. So the basics. We're just going to look at logging in, searching, those kinds of things, the things that you would normally want to do when you're going into YouTube. So when we're talking about logging in, YouTube is a Google product. So it was bought by Google a few years ago. And you do want to log in using your school account when you're doing, work-related things. I do suggest watching kind of personal videos on your personal account, and you're doing things for school, logging into your school account, simply because of the videos that are going to show up kind of on your homepage when you log in. So a very concrete and sort of embarrassing example of that is when I log into my YouTube, you can see quite quickly that I got a little bit obsessed by American politics when I was on maternity leave, and I like to watch some comedy. And you can see that I've been looking at some educational technology things early on, but you might not want your students to have that information about your personal life. So just keep in mind that if you do log in, then that's going to, help. If you log in with separate accounts, then that's going to, help keep those lives separate. The reason you want to log in is when you log in, you can save playlists, you can add extensions, which we'll talk about in the last section tonight. You get more personalized search results. So YouTube sort of learns what you like and learns what kind of channels and what kind of videos you are looking for. And so that's going to really help what the algorithms bring up to show you. You also have your history is saved. So maybe you're thinking, oh, what was that video that I came across last night again, or 2 weeks ago? You can go into your history and find that again if you're logged in. Again, there's the YouTube Studio. So it used to be YouTube Editor, now called the Studio, where you can make your own videos. And then the future, I put this here because you just don't know what other ways that YouTube and Google will connect in the future. And if you're a teacher who's using the Google, sphere, the Google world, and the Google apps in your classes, then a lot of these are maybe going to connect. So I see a future where YouTube is connected with Google Classroom in some way, shape, or form. And so, that those are the kinds of things that you just want to keep in mind. And when you're logging into anything with your Google account, then you're just kind of keeping everything together. So when you're searching, keep the search terms simple, but search exactly what you want. For example, if you're looking for a tutorial on how to use a certain technology, that's what you're going to type in. For example, Socrative tutorial or a YouTube Studio tutorial, that kind of thing. Keeping in mind with tutorials, you might want to stay, less than 10 minutes unless you're really looking for some, advanced features, or you really want an in-depth how to do everything with a complicated app. We're going to talk about filters. I'm going to show you those and why you might want to filter and where to get those. And then also when you're searching, just kind of looking at videos when you're deciding what you're going to use in class, looking at the likes and dislikes, not just the numbers, so not whether or not it has like 1 million likes, but the ratio can be quite important. So if you come to a video that's got way more thumbs down than thumbs up, then that's maybe a tip that there's might be something inappropriate or something offensive in the video. People don't often take the time to actually go say, I do not like this, unless there's something kind of offensive or something egregious, or, you at least would want to take another look. Let's just say that. So let's go over here to YouTube. And let's say that I want to search, I'm looking for something that's going to teach my class about animals in French. I can literally type French animals. Another way to do that is to search in French. So I could search learn about animals, but in French. So apprendre, and I'm just going to put animal. So learn animals, and you'll see that there's a whole bunch of different videos that are going to come up with that. Now, I'm going to go up here into the filter section, because what I'm thinking is I really want a video. I really want just a plain video. I'm not looking for a specific channel at this time. You might want to filter by channel if you were looking for a person. So if I was searching for a person's name up here, and that's going to help you just get to people or specific channels. So even though I'm looking for a video about animals to teach my students, I'm actually going to filter for a playlist. There's so many, so many videos in all the languages about animals or on certain topics, and it can be overwhelming. And if I'm going to filter, if I filter for a playlist, what that's going to do is sort of give me, like these videos, these 8 videos, somebody thought that they were good enough that they should be taken and saved onto a playlist. So it's sort of a first line of defense, or almost a peer review. And so if you're finding that when you're first searching, there's just nothing that's catching your eye, or maybe there's too much and you don't know where to start, or you keep clicking on a video that you think is great, and then 2 minutes in, you're thinking this is not at all what I want, then you might want to try filtering by a playlist. So sometimes that's one little trick to kind of give you a different, a bit of a different search results, and something that's a little more reviewed or peer reviewed. The other thing, you might want to search for subtitles. So just making sure that the video has subtitles. Now, with second languages, it's not as common as with other languages, like with English. Most videos have the English auto-generated, but sometimes in second languages, it's harder to find videos with captions. So you can filter that and then be sure. The other thing I'm going to look when I'm going down and searching for results is I'm going to be looking for channels that I know, and things that have, for example, this little check here means that it's like a verified, it's kind of an official channel. Like Mini TFO is a like a TV station and media company, and like they're very official and very good quality. And so I know that not only is this a channel that I know, but I can kind of guess from this one with the verified check that this might be a quality channel as well. So it just sort of gives you a bit of a filter when you're looking for videos. And I do highly suggest Mini TFO if you're teaching French to elementary students. That's a great website, and their YouTube channel is great. So there you go, just a few little kind of search tips to get you started. Once you find a video that you like and that you want to use in class, you may want to save it to a playlist. And so I'm going to show you how to do that, and we'll talk about the different sharing settings for playlists. And then we're going to look at quickly the playlist homepage and what you can do from that. So let's just imagine that I'm going to this Mini TFO video, and I've watched the entire thing, I've previewed it, and I really like this video and I would like to save it. And of course, I forgot Mini TFO doesn't let you save videos because they're one of those, just happens to be one of those rare channels that doesn't let you save videos. So I'm just going to go down here and choose a different one quickly. Monday between. And of course, so sometimes the official channels are great for videos and then they won't let you save them. So I'm going to go down here, Kids TV. How come it won't let me save? It's made for children. Okay, so now it's not letting me save videos that are made for children, which is a new development. So we're going to look at how to save a different kind of video. I'm actually going to look up Mani Musicale 2021, and we're going to find one of these videos. And of course, they're going to have them all in a playlist, but I'm just going to take one, like soprano, he's cool. So I'm going to go down here and I can see the save right here. And this is where, if I've already got a playlist, I can just click on it and, check it off. I can also, add it to more than one playlist at once if I'd like to, or I can create the new playlist right away. So testing playlists. Now here, sort of like with a Google Doc. So if I make the video public, anyone can search for it and view it. So you saw when we searched Mani Musicale, we had all of those playlists come out. That would be, this playlist would come up as well if somebody searched for, the terms that would bring that up. Unlisted is sort of like anyone with the link can view. So that's, if I give the link to someone, then they can see it, but they're not going to be able to go find my playlist on their own. And then private, even if I give the link to somebody, unless they're, nobody can see that video unless they're signed into my account. And so that's what is going to be private. If you're using it in class, I would usually go with unlisted, unless if you're hoping to, share it with if you want other people to be able to search and find it, then go with public. That's cool too. And there we go. Now I can find my playlist when I go up here to, I call this the hamburger in the top left-hand corner. So it's kind of that main menu, 3 lines here. And I can see some of my playlists right here. And then I can go in, for example, let's say I want to edit this playlist. I can just click right on it and bring that up. So I can change the name here. I can change the description. So if I wanted to give a little description, like these are some songs that my students really liked or whatever, I can shuffle the play so that whenever I play it, it's gonna, shuffle that like it would with the CD. If I want to share, I've got these actions out here as well. And I can also just kind of drag and drop. And so we've got, this is our playlist main page where I can kind of do everything. I can just grab this and change the actions or change it wherever I want it to go. I can add it to my watch queue so that it saves it there. I can save it to another playlist or take it off, move it up to the bottom or the top. Or maybe I want, for example, I want this song to be the, sorry, I clicked on it. I want this song to be the thumbnail. And so that means it's going to change that one song thumbnail to the kind of the playlist thumbnail. And so you can get everything right from that main page. So a few cautions when you're looking at using YouTube. Just think about cultural diversity. It's important that the videos show the cultural diversity of those native speakers, and that we see them, that they're from different countries and different backgrounds, and things like that. We're also trying to show like authentic cultural diversity, not these kind of stereotypes or characters. We want the language and the visuals to be age appropriate. We want it to be linguistically appropriate. You actually want to preview the ads, and if there's sponsorship. So the ads are kind of on the side, and you can get rid of those with ad block, which we'll link to a little bit later tonight. But sometimes people will have sponsorship, so they'll talk about in their video, a certain product, and so just keep an eye out for that. Preview every single second, even the captions. If there's English captions, you want to preview those too. Sometimes when there's translating, sometimes it's auto-translated. Sometimes it's the person who created the video who translated the captions, but sometimes they're not accurate. And sometimes the inaccuracies can lead to inappropriate language in English. And so you just really want to, preview that and make sure that you're not, putting anything that's inappropriate in front of your students. Especially, I think, teaching second languages, we're often using resources that are from different countries, and different countries have different ideas about what is appropriate in school. And so you just want to make sure that what you're showing is appropriate. It's going down the rabbit hole, how to find interesting new content. This is sort of our, some ideas for how to look for new content if you're not really sure where to start. So my first idea is to crowdsource from your students. So I'm not sure about your teaching context, but here in Alberta, we often have in our second language French classrooms kind of that kindergarten to university level French in the same class. So in a grade 8 French class, you would have a grade 8 grade 8 class in there, and you might have students who have just moved to Canada, and so they don't speak English or French, and you may have students who were former French immersion students and now they're in FSL, or you may have a student who speaks French as a first language, but he's in that French second language class. And so give them something to do, so they're not bored when they finish early, or so they're not always putting up their hands, answering the simple questions that you would like other students to think through. And create a collaborative playlist so they can share videos with you. And then just make sure you preview everything and kind of call the list regularly before you either take the videos that you've deemed kind of appropriate and put them onto a playlist that's shared with other people, or you can just call them from that playlist. Now, to do a collaborative playlist, I'm going to go over here to the 3 dots when I'm on my playlist page, and I'm just going to say collaborate. And then very simply, I've made it so that collaborators can add videos to this playlist. You just slide that over and I can allow new collaborators. I'm going to take this link and share it with students, and then they'll be able to add the videos. And so you see how this video says added by Stephanie Jackson. If I was to have a student add that on, then it might say, video added by Danica, or whatever the student's name is. And so that's good too. You can see who's kind of added what, if you need to have a conversation with the student about what they're adding, if it's not appropriate or something like that. So this is sort of a little search pattern idea. Sometimes as second language teachers, we may not know a lot about the target culture. So like maybe you teach Spanish, but you might not know what songs or singers are popular in South America or in Spain. And so, maybe you don't know what's, funny videos or what films or what's on Netflix in that target language that, would be appealing to students of the age that you're teaching. So you can literally Google that. Ask the question on social media is another way. So if you're going onto Google, you can literally Google like what films are popular in France, or what films are popular in Mexico, or in Spanish, put the language instead. And again, thinking back to trying to get a variety of different countries that speak that language, so that our students can kind of get exposed to different accents and different cultures, and really understand that language and those cultures are dynamic and global. Ask a native speaker, and the asking on social media kind of go together. So for example, you could go to a French teachers or Spanish teachers or language teachers Facebook group and just ask them, like, what songs do your students like in this language? Or if you know someone who speaks that language, maybe they have kids that are the age of your students, or, you know, even 5-10 years older or younger. Sometimes you can get some ideas and just ask them, you know, what are you hearing on the radio? Or, you know, what movies are popular? What's on Netflix? And kind of check that out. And then seek out target language media. So, you know, start watching target language TV shows and movies on Netflix or on your Amazon or whatever kind of streaming service you have, or on your TV. Start listening to those radio stations. Now with the internet, I mean, we can access those local cultural target language multimedias from all over the world for free. And so, you know, just kind of start digging in and seeing where you can find that. Once you've got an idea, then you're going to go and start searching for videos, whether it be on YouTube or Netflix or Daily Motion, which is kind of another version, a different kind of YouTube. And then you're going to go down the rabbit hole, which means you're going to search the results. You're going to look at the related results, the suggested videos, and things like that. So let's just do one. Let's say, for example, I was looking, I'm just going to check here if we have, so we had a French. I'm going to look for French because that's what we had posted on the Padlet. So I know that I have some French teachers in the chat. So we'll, you know, I can search in English. So what singers are popular in France or in French? Instead of picking a specific country. So we've got here, we see these are the little bit older. We've got some Stromae, Julia Doré. That's a lot of names, and I'm seeing a lot of different kind of generations here. And so I'm thinking that I'm gonna look for something that is going to be a little newer, right? Now, I don't want to go to list of French singers because that's way, way, way too long. For 2020. Perfect. A beginner's guide to French music for 2020. I'm going to go and I'm going to watch the site. And then here, I already have one, Black M. Okay. So I'm going to pretend that I don't know this singer, and I'm going to go right to YouTube. And so I'm now on my second, right? We've got inspired, we've got this name. Now we're going to search for videos. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go Black M and just go like that and see what comes up. Well, look, I can already see that he's got a channel of his own. I can see that some of these videos, I mean, they've got millions of views. So these are obviously videos that are very popular. So I think, you know, I'm obviously found the right rabbit hole here, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to listen to the video. I can tell you this is a very cool song. My students love this song. I'm going to add it to my playlist. And you'll probably see here that it's already added to a few. So I'm going to add that to my playlist. And now I'm going to go down the rabbit hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to the side, hot list pop music. And this is a playlist. And so on here, I'm going to start going through a whole bunch of different songs. And then here, so I'm just going to press K to stop that for a second. And I can scroll down, and now I've got, this is a huge, like a very deep rabbit hole. Now I can start searching this girl's name, or I can search Jérémy Frérot, or I can search Kenji Girac. I really like Kenji Girac. I know him. So there's a few here I know, and there's a few here that I've never heard of. But I've got, you know, 50 plus songs here, or 50 plus rabbit holes that I could start going down. When I find a song that I like, and just keep looking at what's suggested down the side. And anytime you like it, just add it to your playlist. And there you go. Okay. So that's going down the rabbit hole. Questions with that? Just got someone in the waiting room here. So, for example, when we're talking about music, you can also look up some top 40 lists or radio playlists. So if you can go to a radio station in Quebec and just kind of look at what's playing, and then that'll give you some artist names that you can start searching. Again, when you see that millions of views, then you know that that's going to be someone that's super, super popular. So we're talking like pop stars and things like that. And then again, you know, ask the students to give you a help with that. So for films and TV, you can, again, search like popular French YouTubers, popular Spanish TV shows. I did this the other night. I was looking for something new to watch on Netflix and just looked up what's popular in Netflix in French. And I found a new TV show that I'm really liking. And so, you just never know. It's not for school, but it's still super interesting. And then again, who has the most views and likes, and it's going to be the same with TV shows, and you can just go and search that right on YouTube. So once you get a popular video, you're going to have video suggestions on the right hand side. You also have with videos, at the end of a video, often the creator of that video will have some links to other videos. So for example, let's just do Stromae, kind of one of his popular songs here. And if I go to the end of the video, you'll see here that there's his channel, but then there's also some that are some videos that are suggested here. So I've got another Stromae one. I actually don't know this video. And then we've got a playlist here of 65 videos of more French songs. And so, another kind of rabbit hole that you can go down if the stuff on the side isn't really, too interesting for you there. Save anything you find interesting, so you don't have to preview everything when you first see it. My typical kind of way to do that is to watch a few, a minute or a few seconds of the video and be like, yes, like yay or nay, and I'll add it to sort of a private playlist. And then before I add it to any playlist that's shared out with students or before I'm actually doing a lesson, preview very carefully. So I'm smart. I brought something to drink this time, so I don't start choking in the middle of the session like last time. When I say preview carefully, I'm saying that often because I've had that happen to me where you've thought that you've watched the whole video and this is a really cool song and oh, this is a song that's like for kids. And then you'll get to the very end, and just as the music's trailing off and there's still 10 seconds left, but you think, oh, that's okay, and you shut it down. And then you find out, when it's playing in front of kids that last 10 seconds, there was something super inappropriate. And so just really preview every single second very, very carefully. I'm making that point a lot because I've had it happen to me. Now, besides just like songs and TV, there's some other things that you might want to look at, just a few ideas here. Besides music videos, I love music videos. They're super engaging for kids and everything. And you might want to have some music playing in the background while kids are working. I wouldn't recommend that you have music videos in the background, just because I find that the kids get very distracted by the video. But a cool thing to have in the background is a concert. So they kind of get the music, they can see every once in a while and get a bit of that kind of cultural content, but it's not as distracting as a music video that's, flashing in lights and colors and things like that. And so there's some really cool concerts out there that you can find the whole entire concert on YouTube. Now, cooking videos are really neat, but think about sort of those cooking videos like a la tasty, those ones where you kind of just see the hands. I'll bring one up just so that you kind of know what. This is not only the kind of video that you could have your students watch, but also the kind of video that you could have students make. And so a lot of these are pretty simple, and there's not a whole lot. There's a little bit of writing, which is neat. It would be really easy for kids to make it. But it's not like a cooking show where you see the people and everything else. And so that might be a little bit easier for students. Anyway, some cookie hacks. So movement breaks. There's some amazing things that you can do with movement breaks. I put a couple playlists in there. Well, I put the channel for Mini TFO because they've got some really great movement breaks. And then I put in just a playlist to give you a view of what you could have. This one's in French, but there's all different kinds of videos. So this one, they're doing the choreography for the Beyonce song, or some Cuban salsa dancing, some jazz, But then they've also got some yoga down here for beginners. And then I just put in some just dance videos. So Black M, so again, something super popular. And then it's got the choreography. So there's some ideas of some things that you can do with kids just to get them moving, and a great way to use YouTube. Okay, film trailers. So when you're going to bring in a movie, why not stretch that? So we're not just taking 3 classes to watch a movie. We're actually going to take an entire class or maybe even 2 classes beforehand to read some articles about the director and the writer and maybe some of the main actors and do a little reading comprehension. We're going to watch some trailers, and just kind of get an idea about what the movie is about. And so that's not only going to take that movie and turn it from, just kind of, oh, we're just watching a movie, but really get some learning out of it. But we're also going to get that really kind of authentic content, right? And so a lot of us like watching film trailers, or before you go to a movie, you've often seen the trailer. And then it's also going to give the kids an idea about what that movie is about and just kind of help them, when they're watching the movie later. Interviews with celebrities. There's some amazing interviews with celebrities and celebrities on TV shows. So for example, when I was teaching French, I would look for, if we were doing a song with Matt Pecora, he does a lot of TV shows. And so I would go look on YouTube and simply search like Matt Pecora interview, or in French, Matt Pecora interview, and see what we would find. And I found some amazing, funny things, or where he would go on some variety shows in France. And so not only can we do the song in class and we can read about the singer and his bio and do some reading comp beforehand, we can also do some listening comp that's, really kind of listening to a real conversation that's really authentic after we watch the movie. I put here a link to Human, the movie. I don't know if you've known this, if you've seen this or not. Now, this is one that you must preview very, very carefully, because some of the excerpts might have stories of trauma or things like that, and some of them are super lighthearted. So it's really how that experience of being human can kind of be anything. I used to show one. I'll just see if I can see her here quick, and if I don't, then that's no big deal. But it was a French lady who talked about being in a concentration camp, and so it was really powerful and a short little film. So altogether, these all make up a movie, but each kind of person can just be a little 5-minute excerpt. And so when we're talking about the kind of diverse cultural, they're 3-5 minutes, that kind of thing. We're talking about diverse cultural content and content from all over the world. Then take a look. There's a lot of different languages here. They've talked to people from many, 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 many different countries. And I just remembered her name is Francine. And this is hers. And this is a beautiful, beautiful story. She was deported to a concentration camp, and then tells this just a very powerful story, and how it comes to be. And it's all in French, and it's got the subtitles, but it's got some interesting content there. Funny or practical jokes are a fun thing to show when you've got a few minutes at the end of class. So you've got kind of those, almost every country I'm sure has got some YouTuber that's really famous for doing practical jokes. And you can find some of those, like, Rémi Gaillard in French, I'm thinking of. Or, for example, I put here this Henri Pas de Deux. This guy does some hilarious videos. And you can tell from his accent that he's a learner of French, which is a great thing as well. I think there's a lot of merit to showing students videos from not just native speakers, but from someone who's learning the language as well, and who's willing to put their second language recorded for the whole world to see. And so not super cultural, but really cute. And just sort of that carrot for the end of the class of, if we're finished with 4 minutes left, then we can watch this funny video, and and they're going to pick up a few words there. Gaming walkthroughs, guided tours, and unboxing reviews. Those are the kinds of things that people the age of our students are doing online anyways. My kid is 3.5, and he watches on YouTube kids, other kids unboxing toys and talking about them. And I guess that's a thing, and very, very popular. These channels have like millions of subscribers. It's crazy. And then the gaming walkthroughs, that's a whole thing. And so we're looking for kind of cultural or like authentic content that you can bring in that's got native speakers. This is not only ideas of videos that you could have the students watch that you could bring into class, but maybe even have students make themselves. And then now don't forget about 360-degree videos. So this is pretty cool. I just chose one au hasard, just like that. I just chose Barcelona just because I like Barcelona. And so this is a 360-degree. So if I had the Google Cardboard glasses on, I could actually like turn and as if I was looking around, and it would be like virtual reality, or I can look around using my mouse. And so those are some neat content as well to bring in for students. Okay. Oops. Shh. Oh, we're done with you. Okay, we have one of our famous teachers here tonight, Jo Dale. So just a few, if you're looking for some channels to check out, not so much for the cultural content, but more for the teacher content. So like if you're looking to learn some ed tech or learn for some other teachers, these are some great channels for that. So Jill works in the UK and has a whole channel with a lot of different webinars from different teachers. This one I thought was really neat because it was all about strategies for teaching online. And so I just put that video, but there's also the link to Jo's channel there. And then another kind of ed tech one that I've just discovered recently is this Pocket Full of Primary. So she's got some grading tips for Google Classroom, but she's also got some vlogs, so a little more personal content if you're into that. But I really like her ed tech videos. They're quite simple and very engaging. And she teaches elementary, which even though I don't teach elementary so much, I was more of the kind of junior high school. I really like watching ed tech videos from elementary teachers because that it seems like it's a lot more difficult to bring technology into the elementary classroom. And so it's kind of like, well, if she's able to do it in grade 3, then grade 7, that should be no problem. And they've got some great ideas and visual, and it's just, I find that they fit in really nicely into that language classroom. Kind of Canadian teacher famous here, we've got Sylvia Duckworth. So if you're looking for elementary French videos, that can be a great place to go. She's got, for example, this video, Lunette de Soleil. It's a cute little song, and gives some vocabulary and grammar help with students and things like that. And oops, there we go. We even get to hear Jo. So yeah, these, I really like this one, these ed tech ones, because we've got like free PD, right? And whenever you can get free anything as a teacher, that's super awesome. Okay, I'm just trying to move forward. I should have turned those to not play. Couple more ed tech ones. So Shake Up Learning is just kind of Google famous, and she's got some amazing ideas. And these little quick tips are like 2 minutes. So you know me and the tutorials, I'm all about the short videos, like teach me something in a minute. I love that. And so she's got all these quick tips. So this one's about how to use Jamboard with Google Meet, and super practical. I would also follow her on Twitter, anywhere you can find her. She's got some amazing ideas. She'll post ideas for a math classroom sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I can use that in French, no problem. And so she's great. And this language lady has got some neat ideas for language teachers. So she teaches ESL. So even though it's not the same language as what I was teaching, super great information. So how to teach remotely with Padlets. I put that one in there since we were kind of using Padlet earlier on. And then again, I don't teach Spanish, but Senor Howard, his Tuesday tips for staying in the target language, they're kind of an oldie but goodie. So they're a few years old, but if you're finding it really difficult to teach a second language and stay in the second language with your beginning learners, Senor Howard has got some amazing tips. And even if you don't teach Spanish, follow him on Twitter, check him out on YouTube. He's got some great ideas. I did not want to overwhelm you with too many teachers. So I just kind of picked out a couple that I've followed for a while and a couple that I've discovered recently. And if you do have one that you'd like to share with us, please add them to our Padlet there. And the link's on the thing. I get it now. When I inserted the videos, I said when I clicked it, will play the video. I obviously didn't look at that setting very quickly. So talking about videos, and yes, that is me. And I put that there not because I'm vain, but because I think sometimes when we're doing these kinds of projects, that it's important that as a teacher, you actually go through the steps so that you can not only see where there might be some issues that you might have to help students with, but also so that you kind of know the process and everything else. And it's a lot more helpful if you've actually done it yourself. So that was just a lip sync video. We're not going to bore you by showing you that. But yeah, some ideas of videos. Again, all of the videos that we said, bring these in to watch these. You're also going to be able to take a lot of those and have kids make those. So doing kind of observations or jokes, you take a look on TikTok and what's popular there, and bring those kinds of videos and have kids make those. Responses to questions, reviews, guided tours. We talked about the cooking videos. Ask your students when you're watching videos online, what do you like to watch, and then have them make those. And I've got a link here for the lip sync video if you're wanting to do that in your class. So this is, for example, two kids, grade 9. Both students were English language learners. So the one with the red sweater, he actually moved to Canada about 6 weeks before this project. And so to have him participate at all was amazing. And so their goal was basically to do a lip sync of a song. And if you've seen this video before, I'm just going to turn off the sound. You'll know that it's kind of starts in a desert. And so it's kind of cool that they're doing this in their little suburb there, in their little housing area. And you'd be surprised that something where they're not actually speaking any of the target language, how that's helping them build language proficiency. So besides the fact that they're creating something, it's the hours and hours of listening to the French song to learn the song off by heart ahead of making the video is super, super important. There's hours of authentic input, right? Talking about new vocabulary and phrases the kids would bring out afterwards, and really authentic phrases and vocabulary, because it's kind of slang and it's, the cool way of talking. And so they just really liked, they were looking for that vocabulary and how to reuse it, because they thought it was cool, because it must be cool, it was in the song, right? And the fact that with the lip sync battle, you have to really exaggerate your mouth, it was really helping with their pronunciation. So, they were super engaged, collaborating together, and just, buying the target language albums on iTunes and stuff afterwards. So, great project for building language proficiency. And they're not even really speaking the language. So it's kind of cool. We have a lot of teachers ask us about recording and editing videos. And so when we're recording, I would simply have the kids use their own device. So if they have a cell phone or a tablet, and use the camera. And if not, you can use the Chromebook and use the Screencastify extension. You can record from the webcam. And so that makes it pretty easy as well. Or in a Chromebook, you can just record from the Chromebook and it'll save to Google Drive as well. If you're on a laptop, Screencastify works great. There's so many editing apps out there that I do not suggest that you learn them all. You let the student decide which technology they're going to use to edit their video. So they might have an iPhone and be familiar with iMovie. Maybe they've used WeVideo before, or maybe they've used YouTube Studio before. And so just kind of let them use whatever they're already using. And if they need support with that, then you're there to help them look for tutorials, because we've learned how to find tutorials. When they're sharing videos, there's kind of 4 different options, and I put them in what I personally would start with, from kind of best to not worst, but what I would start with. But they're all just different. So if you're going to do a Google slide, you could have a Google slideshow that you're going to share with your entire class. Everyone is editors. Each kid is going to insert their own slide and insert their video from that they've saved in Google Drive into that slide. They can put their name as the title. You can have them insert a little text description. And so then each slide has a different video, and it's kind of like having a little playlist. And you can even imitate kind of YouTube comments if you have kids. You want them to go watch everyone else's video and then use the notes section in the bottom as kind of a mock or a fake YouTube comment section. And so they can like type their name like Steph and, oh, I thought this video was really funny and, or whatever they want to say. And so you can kind of keep track of that. And since it's in Google Slides, you're going to have that revision history. And if anyone's being inappropriate, then you're going to be able to see that right away and shut it down. If you don't want students to view each other's videos, you just want it shared with you, then just create an assignment and they can just upload it to that assignment. All those videos are then going to go into that assignment Google Drive folder. And so if you wanted to then later make it a playlist that, that is later shared with other people, then you can change that Google Drive folder share settings, right? And so that's the other thing. If you're not using Google Classroom, if you have a Google Drive folder that you can upload and have kids, upload their video in there. With Google Classroom, so you as a teacher are going to be able to send comments, like a private comment on that assignment to that student with regards to that assignment. But with Google Drive, it's not going to be attached to the video, right? So that's more of I have to send them an email or whatever. And then finally, YouTube. I put this last, even though this is a session about YouTube, because for example, with the lip sync battles, I couldn't use YouTube because we've got the songs. And so because of copyright and stuff, YouTube isn't allowing it to be, shown up for public use. It's okay to use in a class in the context of an assignment, but it's not okay to put it up on YouTube like that. And you just need to make sure that you've got informed consent. So make sure that your FOIP, your Freedom of Information and Privacy, that you've got informed consent with your parents, and check your local, whatever your local laws regarding that information privacy is. There's a little one pager there. So if you kind of want a little cheat sheet, then go into the presentation, you can get that one pager. Okay, finally, tricked out. So when you're watching a YouTube video, here's a few of the things that you can do. And I've got the slide here to give you kind of some visual cues of where you would click for those, but I'm going to show you quickly as well. So let's imagine that I'm on a video. I'm going to do this choreography video just because I can. Okay, and I'm just going to pause it. So we already talked about here about the saving, but I can also share this video. So if I wanted to send the link to somebody, then I can, hey, check out this neat video. The other thing I can do is here, I can click and I can start it at a certain time. So maybe maybe the video is really long and I wanted to start it 10 minutes in or something like that. That's not a problem. I can do that right here. So I just got to check that there. Maybe I'm watching an interview with some celebrities in Spanish, and let's imagine that it's super fast and the students are not understanding a single word. You can go into the settings here and change the playback speed, and I find that 0.75 doesn't sound too weird. It slows it down, but it doesn't sound it sounds a little abnormal, but not so much that you can't understand it. It sounds still pretty normal, and because the second language sounds so much faster to students because they don't understand it all, 0.75 just seems to be a nice little speed there. So check that out. If we go up here, I can actually search with my voice. So if I'm not very good at typing or don't know how to spell something, but I know how to say it, then I can do that up there. And that can be a great tool when students are searching as well. Down here, when I go down under the video to these three little dots, this one doesn't have it, of course, because it doesn't have captions. But let me find if I have a video that has captions. So we're just going to look for one, Black M at our view. And then we're going to go into our filter and we're going to look for one that has captions. I'm just going to close the queue here. Okay, I'm just picking the first one. I don't know if it's appropriate or anything, so we're not going to watch it. I'm just going to pause it. But if I go down here, I should be able to get open transcript. And so, yeah, it'll open a transcript of the captions. That's a really easy way for you to search for like inappropriate words, for one, instead of, sometimes you might not notice an inappropriate word in the target language when you hear it, but when you see it. And so that's something good. And then that might also be, helpful for students, or if you're looking for a specific like vocabulary word or grammar thing that you're trying to teach in class or whatever. So that transcript thing can be helpful as well. And then finally up here, you may or may not know that YouTube has more apps. So not only do we have YouTube, but there's YouTube TV, YouTube Music, YouTube Kids. So if you're looking for kid specific videos, then you can go there. The Creator Academy. So when you're looking at creating your own videos and using YouTube Studio, then you can go to the Creator Academy to get some awesome support with that. And then YouTube for Artists, which I'm not familiar with, so I'm not going to talk about that so much. But yeah, just to, give you some things that you can kind of take a look at. We've talked in previous sessions about some of these extensions, like ad block and turn off the lights. So ad block, so you don't get any ads, and turn off the lights so that you don't see anything but the video. Like you can kind of make everything that's around the video black or whatever, whatever color you want. If you notice that you keep getting the same video or the same channel that keeps getting suggested to you and you really don't want to see that anymore, you can get video block, or you can actually block that from coming on. Or if you would like, for example, I haven't put it on here, and maybe I should, because I could have used that tonight, Smart Pause on YouTube. So as soon as I leave the tab, the video will pause instead of playing in the background. So that could be helpful. Magic Actions is a pretty neat little extension. It really lets you customize your YouTube. So you can make it so that you can control the volume with the wheel on your mouse. You can get like cinema mode, so, kind of change how it looks. You can take screenshots of videos. You can bypass country restrictions. So as a language teacher, that can be super helpful, and that kind of thing. And then for smart video for YouTube, that's if you live in an area with low Wi-Fi, this can help you manage the buffering so that it won't, so that the video will play smoothly. So there's some strategies for if you live maybe in an area that doesn't have great Wi-Fi. GIF-it, I used this, it was pretty cool. Now there is a way to do this in YouTube, but it's super clunky and difficult to do. But with GIF-it, so for example, I'm on this video and I really just want a GIF of, so an animated image, and I'm going to start at 0 and go to let's just say 5 seconds. And it's going to create an animated image of that clip of the video that I can then save and add into things or whatever it might be. And so it just takes it a few seconds and a little bit longer because I'm also on Zoom. But yeah, it'll save that into little GIF, and I can add that in later. I actually did a couple. I'll show you one here because I just happen to have this open. I got a bread one. Everybody does during the pandemic. I'm just gonna cut it right there. And so it just made the GIF for me. It was super easy. Just kind of neat. And then with Edpuzzle, that's the last thing we're going to talk about tonight is Edpuzzle. And I've actually got a little example for you. So I'm going to give you the little link here. Just so you can see what Edpuzzle is. Now, Edpuzzle is an app, but it's also an extension. So with the extension, what it does is it adds this little Edit with Edpuzzle link or button right under the video. Sorry, I'm just not able to, oh, because I have the apps open here. And so if I go with Edit with Edpuzzle, then it's then going to take that video and open it in Edpuzzle for me. So I can now turn this into a quiz super easily. I can do a little voiceover. So the first, I can cut the video. So let's say I don't want the whole 3 minutes. That's way too long. I'm going to cut some over. I can then do a voiceover. So maybe if I wanted to, do some kind of voiceover with, Oh, I can only do voiceover now with your own videos. So that's new. It doesn't work with the YouTube terms of service. So that's new. So see, things change all the time. But if I have my own video that I'm uploading, then I can do that. And then I can even add, so for example, I just want to give them a little comment at some point in the video, or maybe like, let's say I'm going to watch this here, and over here, I'm going to ask him, okay, and then I'm going to add a little multiple choice question right there. So I'm going to say like, I don't know, what's his name? First in the target language, and then I can type the choices, so like A, B, C, D in here. So his name is Black M, and that's the right answer. So I'm going to change that to correct, and I'm going to say his name is Maître Games. We know that's not it, and then I can add like A, B, C. I want to add another one. His name is Lefa. That's another one of his. And then I can even give feedback. So I can say, for example, if he chooses Lefa, then I want him to say, no, sorry, that is not correct. Or no, that's one of his, like, no, that is not him. This is one of his friends though, or something like that, right? And then I can give feedback here and say, yes, you're right. And they're going to get that automatically. And so I just save that question. And then I'm going to see it right here. So I can just see the little points where I've added in questions. I'm going to go up here at this point in the video. I'm going to add a little open-ended question. And so I can ask like, how old is he, or where does he live? And then I can give feedback, but I can't have this one automatically marked. So that's the one difference there. But I can say, for example, I can give the right answer. So, il habite à Paris. It's just too long to get the accent, but I know it's safe. And then I can see here that I've got those questions there, right? And then I can see them right here, the timestamps, and that's it. I can finish it, and then I'm going to be able to, you know, assign that to my classes and stuff. So I put a little link into the presentation there, and I'll also put it into the chat there. And so if you'd like to try Edpuzzle and see what it looks like from the student point of view, then that's what I've got here. It's just from the student point of view, so you can kind of see how that would work, just with a little cute English video there. So yeah, that's Edpuzzle. Once again, thank you, Slides Carnival, for your awesome slides. Decided to go to red tonight since we're doing YouTube instead of the blue.